Live from FedEx Forum, this is The Odds Couple, presented by WinBet on GrindCityMedia.com. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Hello, good people. Welcome to The Odds Couple, presented by WinBet. I'm not Rob Fisher. I am Lang Whitaker, and I am here in the studio here at FedEx Forum to do this week's Odds Couple. Our great friend Rob Fisher is not in this chair. I'm in his chair. So in my chair is our other great friend, John Roser.
Sup?
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 Sup? Here to pick winners. 4-1. 30-15 on the season.
He's his own hype man.
30-15 on the season.
Behind the glass, on the wheels of steels, on the 1 and 2s. That's CJ Hurt.
What a pitiful week I had last week. Good Lord.
Everyone had a bad
It was
week.
horrible.
I
At
didn't.
least
The games were terrible last week.
At least I was minus 69, so I'll take that.
I went 3 and
Nice.
2. That's nice. And then, Roser was plus 68, almost there.
Yeah, almost.
Hey,
nice.
you know, Rob Fisher's not here, but he is with us from the Bay Area live. There he is. Look, is that Alcatraz?
No,
Oh.
it's down the street. It's down
kinda
the street.
looks like
Alcatraz
it.
down the street. But it is it's a beautiful day in lovely San Francisco, getting ready for the weekend of football, man. Fired up about it.
At least the games, there's some better games this week than there were last week, because last week there was a bunch of just bleh games.
Fish, is it true that the hotel in San Francisco, that is the best hotel that the visiting teams stay in?
Yeah, I would say so. It probably is because it's got an amazing bathtub. You want me to go show you the bathtub?
Yeah,
I wanna give you a
I'm
tour?
interested in
I don't know.
this.
It looks like Alcatraz behind you.
It does.
That
yeah.
wall, the gray wall.
I don't
and
know.
the-
It is San Francisco. That's probably some local artist who
Yeah, it's an
Made it.
installation.
made it from basil leaves, and who knows? It's probably
It's
something.
edible.
Yeah,
There's a button next to the bed that I can press that'll raise or lower
Yeah.
all the shades in the
Nice.
room, which is kind of neat. The tub is amazing. The shower's great. This one of the great hotels. Although they are renovating down in the lobby, so it's kind of a mess downstairs.
Oh, I
But,
hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it's good. They have a loofah. They give you a loofah.
Oh.
Which is nice, and good soap, good
soap.
robes, good slippers. They have the slippers waiting on the bed for you when you arrive, which is nice. When we got in last night, like at 1:30, have the slippers just waiting for you. So yeah, this is a lovely place. This is where Kim and Kanye stayed. After they got married over at Oracle Park.
Yeah.
Of course.
What's the toilet paper quality, Rob? Because that'd
Good.
be my issue at hotels. The toilet paper is not good.
Probably 1 3/4 ply, I would say.
So not quite double ply.
No, it's not. It's not the best, but it's
It's up there.
It's okay for a hotel. It's pretty good. Pretty
Well,
good.
they
We just came
probably-
from Portland where it was like maybe a half ply.
Oh. Not good.
And God knows what it was made of.
Yeah, in Portland it was probably recycled. Recycled paper.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Rob, tell us something you learned this week, please.
Man, I learned that you can't bet outside of Tennessee. and it
Yeah, that's
sucks.
true. Geofencing is real.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're pretty lucky actually, and shout out to the WinBet folks, and being able to bet. And it was funny because we left on Friday.
Yeah.
And so I got all my football bets in for last weekend. And then I started working on this week's games, and I'm like, man, I want to bet these games. And you can't. You can't bet in California. You can't bet in Washington. And just looking forward to getting back home so I can get all my weekend football action in. But
true.
learned you just can't bet everywhere. And it makes us very lucky in Tennessee that we're able to do it legally.
That's true. CJ, is there something you learned this week?
Just like what is the NFL? What is it?
As a construct, you mean? Or like a-
awesome.
You go out there and it's Baltimore, Cincinnati. You're like, oh, that's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick that game. and then the Bengals go out there and just make a mockery of it. You got Titans and the Chiefs. You're like, oh, the Chiefs are great. The Chiefs are going to rebound eventually.
I don't
This
think
will be
anybody
that.
thinks the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs haven't been good all year.
I know. Have you watched the NFL this season? The Chiefs have nothing.
Maybe I
Chiefs
hadn't
have been
watched
bad since
enough.
the Super Bowl.
Maybe I hadn't
Yeah.
watched enough. Because fine, the Chiefs are bad. Did y'all think they were that? Because there's no way you
that
thought
was
they were
different.
that.
No, scoring
That
3
is
points
different.
against the Titans is pretty rough. I will say, if you have paid attention to Cincinnati, look, the fact that they blew them out, that should be surprising. The fact that they beat Baltimore should not be surprising.
That's not
to you.
surprising.
That should not be surprising.
It's not
they beat
surprising that the
Baltimore.
Chiefs lost to the Titans. It's not surprising that the Bengals beat the Ravens. The way those two games happened is what is surprising. And then you think about it, you go back and take a look. Hell, this is a Titans team that lost to who? The Jets earlier in the month? This is a Bengals team didn't the Bengals lose to the Bears? Just when I think I got the NFL figured out, this weekend
I mean, the
comes
Titans
about,
almost
and
lost to
I
the
have no
Bills the
clue.
week before. It was just the last play of the
Yeah,
game. They got
last
lucky,
play of the
basically.
game.
Did you learn something this week, Roser?
Yeah. When you don't know what to do, you go to the well.
Alabama
And Ohio State got
Yeah.
got me 4-1. Just went with Ohio State and Alabama. They got you 4-1. So
Genius.
yeah,
We'll get
What
back
a
to
cheap
Alabama.
way to do that.
We'll get back to Alabama in a second.
we're here to pick winners and give the people winners. I'm doing this for the people.
Well,
not
I've still
for
got
y'all.
people's, speaking of people, mad at me after I got in this argument with Kyrie Roser last week. Now, for some reason, people think that I hate Auburn, Penn State, and Arkansas. Well,
You do.
I just said
Just
those teams
embrace
aren't
it.
good. And after the show last week, a Penn State graduate texted me. He was like, "Why would you say Penn State's not good?" And I was like, "Because you're not good. Like, it's okay. Like, you're fair. You're maybe good maybe, but not great." Penn State lost a 9 overtime game to Illinois, 20-18.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, "Oh man, I'm going to hear about this."
Well, as soon as the game ended, I'm like, I got to text this guy. I got to text him. And I was like, no, like that's kind of like
that
not
is so
cool.
weird to me. Like 20-18.
2 hours later, he texted me and said, "We're not good."
20-18 and
20
9
to 18.
overtime.
Yeah, that'll never
There
be
was a
broken.
bunch of safeties down. Like there's a bunch of 2s on the box score. I don't know how it got. I didn't see any of it. It just
Because they went to the
They had to do the
penalty
2-point.
kick thing
Oh,
that they
yeah.
did it's just 2-point conversion. It's 9 overtime in name only. After the third overtime,
Right.
you just get the ball at the 2 and go in there and score. And
Wait,
would
you
think-
do?
Yeah, they changed the
I
rules.
thought
That's
it was
how they ended
after
up
the
that
third
way.
overtime. You're not allowed to go for the 1-point conversion. You had to go for 2
No,
every
remember
time.
back when Texas A&M LSU had that
Yeah.
long overtime game.
There was a Georgia
And
Auburn one that was like 7 overtimes
yes.
too.
And
Yeah.
so they took a look at it. The rules makers looked at it and said, you know what? For players' health and safety,
Yeah.
let's cut it to 3 and then just boom. No matter what happens, if it's still tied at the end of 3 overtimes, then they're just going to have to go from the 2 and the first one to score and get a stop wins.
Well, Penn State lost to Illinois 20-18 in 9 overtimes. And guess
Yeah.
what? Penn State is not good. All right? We all agree. I learned it. It's true. Back to Alabama, who you were talking about. Alabama had their hands full with Tennessee
They
last
did
week.
for a little bit. Yeah.
They won 52-24, but it's only because they won the fourth quarter 28-7.
Yeah.
Nick Saban gave us some audio after this game to talk about Alabama.
Perfect. We made the plays that we need to make to win the game. So, I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm pleased. And there's just some things that we need to do better. We shouldn't need to be humiliated to go out there and play the way we're capable of. We should be a team that, wants to beat other teams because of who we are, what our DNA is, what our disposition is, what we want our identity as a team to be. And we're going to keep working on that.
The final, the line that I saw on that was Alabama 28.5, and they won by 28.
The game closed at like 25 or 26.
Yeah, earlier in the week it was
It
28.5.
opened at 28.5 or 29, and it went down quick.
And you had
It
the
went
over
down
on it, right?
fast. I had Alabama's team total over.
Okay.
Yeah, I had Alabama's team total over. I had Alabama's team total over 46, and I had Alabama minus 14 first half. Obviously, the first half didn't hit, but yeah. So I got 1 of 2 right on there.
Fish, do we think that Alabama's back on track now?
We should, because we'll get burned if we don't. Lang, I think you and I thought the Mississippi State game, they'd be able to come out and they were going to pound them, and that they were primed to just destroy Mississippi State after the loss that they had to A&M, and they came out and they did that, and then they take care of business last week. I think we need to go back, as John said, go back to the well with Alabama. They are what we think they are, and for us to try and and for us to try and think that there's something different or something less, I think we look foolish at the end of the day. They had a bad week against A&M. Now we move on, and now they destroy everybody, and now they score 40 every week, and now they cover every week, and they go over every week, and they win the first half every week. I mean, I think for the rest of the way, it's Alabama that we think they are.
Yeah, they didn't this game would have been even worse. They had two things happen in that first half that were just a little like, this is kind of how the phone is interrupting me.
Nick Saban's calling.
This is Roser's time.
That's
it's
my
Saban.
fault, Roser.
Ben Affleck's calling.
I drive a Dodge Stratus. Yeah. So it was the fumble, where they fumbled, and then when they had Tennessee at like a 4th and 23, and they committed a roughing the punter like that. It's like, and then Tennessee scored. It's like, this is the recipe for how some of these upsets can happen. But they were able to put. But like when those two things happened, it's like I think that kind of kept Tennessee close. If one of those two doesn't happen, it's like
they were down 14-7, and that fourth quarter pulled it out. I mean, if we flip it around the other way, is Heupel on the right track?
I think the obvious thing is like the Hooker kid's pretty good.
But why did it take us this long to get Hooker as the quarterback?
It's crazy. The only thing that we have ever been able to think of with that is that he promised Joe Milton, if he transferred there, that he would start, not knowing. Why did you promise
not knowing
a guy
he wasn't
who's
good?
Not good. I don't really know that. Because if you watched him and Hooker in camp, that there's no way you could have thought Joe Milton was better than Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
And so at that point, you just say, all right, kid, you're not starting, and then he transfers again. Whoop-de-doo.
It's the arm thing with Joe Milton because the kid has a cannon for an arm.
Is
it accurate? No, not at all. Is there any touch? No, not at all. But you see that as a college football coach, and in practice, it's not the same as game speed. So he's got this cannon, and maybe he's hitting a couple of these throws in practice. And you can convince yourself to buy into the thought of what Joe Milton is versus what he actually is.
At the end of the
field.
Ole Miss game, you saw it where Hooker was playing great, got hurt. They had to put Milton back in. He threw a first down pass right away because it was like a cross-field pass. He had the arm to get it across the line. And then when they had to make a play and it was like 4th down, and he just ran out of bounds. Like, he doesn't have it.
Yeah, and it's what's the internet meme that's always out there on Twitter?
There's a lot.
Vernon always talks about they should send Joe Milton to Afghanistan to overthrow the Taliban. I'm like, oh, my God.
I don't know.
Do some mean stuff to a college kid, man. He's a college kid. Like, people need to lay off him. I mean, he's not good, but, like, he's still a college kid. Come on.
I believe the hype, Lang. I believe it. I think Josh Heupel's – I think Josh Heupel's got his team at least interesting.
They're interesting,
at least competitive. At least they can do something offensively and they can score. They're certainly not on a level of Alabama yet, but they gave Ole Miss all they could handle, and I think that they've played pretty well for the most part. I mean, the Pitt game, heck, if Hendon Hooker played, I think they probably beat Pitt, and then look at where they're at today. So, playing Alabama is never going to make them look better until they actually are better. But I think they've made strides this year.
What does it say about Tennessee football and where we are with them that, like, we're sitting here talking, like, good about them after they lose by 4 touchdowns to a rival?
Right.
Like, they still lost by 4 touchdowns,
True.
And it's like, they played with them for 3 quarters. It's like, well, it's a 4-quarter game, but we're going to celebrate Tennessee. Like, I know Tennessee fans are, like, happy and, like, genuinely happy about the performance against Alabama, but it is also like, let's take a step back here. This is how far y'all still are away.
By the way, Butch Jones.
And Jeremy Pruitt played a closer game with Alabama.
Shout out Jeremy Pruitt. Shout out Butch Jones, who's got 1 win this season at Arkansas State, I believe.
Yeah, they're oof.
The last 18 years, Tennessee is 2-32 against Florida and Alabama.
Last how
2
many
and
years?
32.
8 years? 18 years?
Yeah.
What'd you say? A lot of years.
18 years. 2 and 32.
Man.
Yeah. Let's go to a cocktail party. How about the world's largest? Yeah, sure.
CBS isn't allowed to call it that, but
Yeah,
we
but we
can.
can. I went to Georgia. I can call
love
it that.
the cocktail party.
The world's largest outdoor cocktail parties this weekend in Jacksonville. Georgia versus Florida. And Dan Mullen has had sort of an up and down year at Florida. And somebody asked Dan Mullen, has winning the title gotten harder?
I don't know. There's more teams in the league, so I guess statistically speaking, it would make it harder. I think the league right now that was at the beginning of where the league is today. So I think top to bottom, the league is probably even at a higher level now than it was then on top to bottom teams. So I think that part of it makes it a little bit harder. I think there were some unbelievable high-end teams back then. I mean, I remember going in 08. The SEC championship game was number one against. I think we were number two at Florida. I know Alabama was one. I think we were two or three. So when you're looking there, that the high end was still there of teams that are going to compete for the national championship. But I think the depth has certainly grown in the league and made it more difficult on a week-to-week basis.
Why would you ask Dan Mullen?
He never won one.
Yeah,
what are we asking Dan Mullen for?
That's like asking me if it's gotten harder to climb Mount Everest.
Yeah, what
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Is it harder, John? Is it harder to run the New York City Marathon?
Yeah, has the Tour de France gotten a lot harder to ride here? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think it has.
Fish, is winning Mr. Olympia harder than it used to be?
It really is. It's gotten a lot more difficult through the years with all the PEDs and things of that nature. And Dan Mullen, I just have a feeling it's going to be sad Dan Mullen again this week after this game, because they got too many questions, man, and Georgia seems to not have the questions. In Georgia, 25-16 against the spread their last 41 against the SEC. Florida just 4-8-1 against the spread their last 13 games overall. Georgia's covered 3 of the last 4 meetings, and sometimes this game can get weird. Sometimes the underdog can really show up, but I just think Florida's just too big of an underdog. There's such a disparity this year between these two teams.
I keep expecting, Rob, to over your left shoulder, there's like a painting, but it also looks like a door with a window, and I keep expecting a guard to walk by and like peek in and.
It really does. It really does look like a prison, like the opening to your prison cell. It really does.
Speaking of Georgia, Florida, though, this is a matchup where weird things happen.
It is.
Yes.
And I mean, think back to years ago when Georgia scored the opening touchdown and the entire team ran on the field and got a celebration penalty. Last year, Stetson Bennett got hurt. Florida blew them out, blew the Dogs out because Dwan Mathis had to play a lot. So you mentioned Georgia doesn't have a lot of question marks, but they do have one fairly large question mark starting at quarterback. Apparently this week, JT Daniels is back in there playing a lot, as healthy as he has been since the season opener. Do we think Daniels plays this week? Does Stetson Bennett play? What's the move for the Dogs? Roser, what do you think?
Look, I think the game's going to be close. I do. I just think, like you said, there are too many weird things that happen in this game, and I think Georgia's going to win. But, this is like the time when Dan Mullen does pull something out of his ass.
Yeah.
Like, when you don't expect him to. Like, we're resigned to the fact Florida's just not that good. They got destroyed by LSU. Like, dude, LSU ran all over them. What is Georgia going to do to them? I don't know. I just feel like Dan Mullen's going to come up with something. Like, I do think Dan Mullen's a really good coach, but I don't know. I
mean, last year he had Kyle Trask playing out of his mind in that game. He was amazing in that game. This year, Florida's second in the SEC in total offense, 501 yards per game, second in the SEC in rushing yards per game, 254. But they only ran for 130 against LSU.
Yeah.
Like the last couple games, that number started to come down a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
I think the real question is for Florida. Fish, what do you do? Does Richardson get the start? Do you start Emory Jones? What do you do?
Well, Dan Mullen has struggled with that all year. And, I think if you start Emory Jones, well, Richardson will come in, and it won't be long before he comes in. I think that's the problem, just not knowing what you're going to start with. I think most people have watched and would say that you need to start Richardson right off the bat. But Dan Mullen just hasn't seemed to want to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the week. Maybe you do something weird this week because it is a week in a matchup of weird things happening. So maybe this is the week that you do start Richardson at quarterback. But I don't know. I don't know what to expect from Dan Mullen. And I don't know what to expect from this Florida team. I don't expect them to be very good. Just because of the quarterback situation and going against that Georgia defense, how is Florida going to be able to score? I don't see it happening. And I think Florida is one of those teams that it's kind of it's downward spiral from here on out for the Florida Gators. As far as Georgia's quarterback is concerned, I don't think it matters, to be honest with you.
I think Daniels is the better player of the two in a vacuum, but Bennett might right now be the better fit for this team. And if we know anything from Kirby Smart, I mean, this is pretty much the same situation they were in a couple years ago. Jacob Eason got hurt. He gets out of the lineup. Bennett comes in. Jake Fromm comes in, becomes the starter. Eason gets healthy, and it's Fromm's job to lose at that point, and he keeps him in. So I wouldn't be shocked if Bennett starts. The one thing I would say, I think Georgia's going to not only win this game, but they're going to try and run up the score for a couple of reasons. Number one, Kirby played at Georgia. He understands this matchup. I don't think there's any love lost between him and Dan Mullen.
No doubt. I think everybody hates Dan Mullen.
Yeah, well, but then bigger than that, like this has big recruiting implications, this game, because they're all going for the same players. And if Georgia can win this game big time and probably get a little payback for last year when they lost big time to Florida, I think all that plays into this. So I think Georgia wins, and I think they're going to cover and do it pretty easily.
I think they will try to blow them out if they can.
Cocktail party in my house to watch the game. Who's in?
Cocktail.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Cocktail party.
CJ?
I can't. I got a watch party.
Watch party?
Yeah, I got to go.
Oh, you got to go to Nashville. Yeah.
All
right.
Come check me out, though. I'll be in Nashville this weekend, baby.
To watch the Grizzlies. All right. Hey, let's take a break. We'll come back in a minute and keep this odds couple going.
The Odds Couple is brought to you by WynnBET, the official sportsbook partner of the Memphis Grizzlies. WynnBET is bringing the excitement of Wynn Las Vegas to online sports betting. From boosted parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, they have what you need to win. You can place bets on games on any major sport, including on NBA teams like your Memphis Grizzlies. Sign up today and use promo code BET1WIN100, and after placing your first $1 wager, you'll receive $100 to bet with. There's no better way to enjoy basketball than with some extra winnings in your pocket to use for all your favorite bets. Betting is a team sport. Join the WynnBET team and bet with the best. Must be physically located in Tennessee and 21 years of age or older to participate. If you win or someone you know needs assistance with a gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
When you heard that you were getting traded to the Memphis Grizzlies, what went through your mind?
I will say the first thing that came back to mind was like, Zach Randolph punched me in the face. And some people might still be pretty pissed off about it. So we got some patchwork to do, mate.
Have you gone around town at all, and has anybody mentioned that to you?
Nah, not yet. I haven't had too much opportunity, though, to be fair.
The Chris Vernon Show, live daily on grindcitymedia.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't miss the newest Grind City Media podcast, Infield Fly, with me, Rob Fisher, along with Lang Whitaker and Keith Murphy. Comes out each Tuesday, and we'll have the latest on our favorite teams and yours. Regional and Superstation teams, the Cardinals, Braves, and Cubs, while going around the horn to check in on the rest of the league. Be sure to subscribe today at grindcitymedia.com, iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud.
It is 9:01 on the dot, and we are so excited to continue our Media Day coverage.
I feel like every year for Media Day, everyone always compares it to the first day of school. Did you have any first day of school jitters?
It's definitely a first day of school mentality, those butterflies in your stomach. But then it took a second to go, well, that's probably a good thing, right? You should always have a little bit of nervousness.
Rise and Grind with Jessica and Megan. Live daily at 8 a.m. on grindcitymedia.com. Welcome back to grindcitymedia.com. Live from FedEx Forum. Now, here's more of the Odds Couple, Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker, presented by WynnBET.
Next up, join Tyus Jones and your Memphis Grizzlies Saturday, October 30th at 7 p.m. as they battle Kyle Lowry and the Miami Heat. Arrive early to enjoy all the Grizzleween festivities like concourse trick-or-treating, plus the first 10,000 fans will receive a Grizz face mask. Get Memphis and get your tickets today by calling 901-888-HOOP or clicking grizzlies.com. Welcome back to The Odds Couple, presented by WinBet. I'm Lang, he's John, he's CJ, and Rob's in the ether somewhere.
Are y'all getting dressed up for this?
I was going to ask, well, you're gone. Rob said he wears a costume every game. Rose, are you wearing a costume?
No.
That was quick.
Yeah, I don't have a costume.
I have a costume for trick-or-treat night. I have a werewolf costume because my son's going to be a werewolf, so I thought we'd be a pack of werewolves. But it's like a full-on face mask, and I don't know if I want to wear that to the Grizzlies game for the whole game.
We're to Rise and Grind tomorrow. I will be in costume. By
Are
we,
you?
I mean me.
I've got my Winnie the Pooh costume somewhere. I could wear that. Yeah, I've had it since I was like 15.
With or without pants?
It's got everything. Yeah, it's full body.
Oh, it's a bodysuit. Got you. I thought you were just going to have the red crop top and walk around.
No.
I was like, oh, Rosa, wait a second. That might not be a good idea.
You said with or without pants?
Yeah, because Winnie the Pooh doesn't wear pants.
Yeah,
he has the crop top.
Yeah, he wears a crop top. Yeah.
No. Rosa wears a lot of crop tops, though.
Yeah, I do a lot of crop tops. Yeah.
With pants. Yeah, that's key. All right, let's get back to college football.
A lot of guys are wearing crop tops. You see, I don't understand what half the things that
Speaking of crop tops.
Legs like
Ole Miss.
Rosa gets us in trouble.
Speaking of pants and crop tops, let's talk about Ole Miss. I don't know.
They wear short shorts. I mean, they do. They do wear some Daisy Dukes.
This Ole Miss Auburn game is probably, I think, it's the best SEC game this weekend, probably, other than Georgia Florida.
Yeah,
because these teams have actually turned out to be like pretty good at this point.
Wait a second. What? What do you mean pretty good?
Pretty good.
We got us. What's Ole Miss is 7-1, 6-1.
If we get
they're
it's
pretty
about
good.
Auburn. It's
Auburn's
about
5-2 at this point.
If Auburn wins, are you going to call them good?
Yeah, I would.
Even with a loss to bad Penn State.
The win over Arkansas to me was big for Auburn because it wasn't close. Like they dominated that game.
They did dominate the game.
And Bo Nix actually looked like a good player for the first time in as long as I can remember. So I was really impressed with the way Auburn played in that game. But
doesn't this line surprise you that Auburn's favored?
Yes, it does.
It doesn't to me.
Why not?
No?
I think Auburn has more talent. If you were just to go recruiting rankings and things on the board, I think you would see Auburn has the higher level players. Kiffin has the scheme offensively, and they've got the Heisman Trophy candidate in Matt Corral. But I do think top to bottom, Auburn has more talent. And that running game of Auburn, those guys, if they can establish that run, it's going to open everything up. I think Auburn's going to win the game. You'll find out in my picks, too.
And historically, it's tough for Ole Miss to beat Auburn in Auburn. As I take out my workplace sleigh notebook, everybody remember to do those things. Looking for a first win.
Where
Ole
did you
Miss
get
is.
that?
I took it from my wife. Ole Miss is looking for their first win at Auburn since 2003. Wow. And if my calculation is correct, Ole Miss only has 2 wins at Auburn historically.
My question is, does Auburn have the defense to stop Ole Miss? Because, I mean, Georgia put up 30-something points against Auburn, and Georgia's offense is not nearly what Ole Miss's is right now. Actually, talking about Ole Miss offense, let's listen to Lane Kiffin talking about Matt Corral.
The guy's a warrior. The guy's awesome. Selfishly for him, it's not really selfishly. I wish we had all the pieces around him, because now you're going to get, Heisman, that he doesn't have the numbers and all that stuff. And, you got to watch the game. I don't get to sit back there and just wait forever and throw to wide open people. So, he's awesome, and I don't know where he'd be without him. Another note on him, he threw for 180 or something like that, and I kind of said afterwards, man, sorry we didn't do a better job getting guys open. He didn't care. He could care less about his stats. That is rare at any time, but especially this age with kids.
Hey, Fish, we talk about this every week. Is Ole Miss the third best team in the SEC right now?
I think so.
A&M?
I think they've looked like the third best team, and I think they've earned being the third best team as well.
think they're number 10, right? They're number 10 overall in the rankings. I mean, they've lost one game. They lost to Alabama, and I kind of feel like they've earned it. Don't you, Rosa?
Yeah.
You think Texas A&M maybe?
I mean, A&M, it's almost like that Bama game gave them a boost. Now, look, they've beaten South Carolina and Missouri since then, who are bad.
Yeah.
Like really bad. And so maybe they're not. But, like, I saw the same Texas A&M team only score 10 points against Colorado, who's also really bad, and so they're scoring more points. So maybe
they lost to Mississippi State.
Right.
Yeah.
You'd have to right. I'd have to say you probably would have to say Ole Miss.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
you got to go by what they've done. Until
who
you
else?
have to
I
say
mean,
Ole
Kentucky's
Miss.
probably in the conversation.
I think
Kentucky's in the
probably
conversation.
The only one that's in the conversation.
Auburn's in the conversation.
I think Auburn's at the end of the conversation. Like, if they win this week, they're definitely in that conversation. But I think Kentucky, Ole Miss are the two that are 3-4. I just don't know.
You would have had Arkansas there.
but they can't win anymore. Like, people figured them out.
Man, they need the week off.
Yeah,
they need this week off
banged up
bad.
pretty bad.
And it's good they got to play Pine Bluff last week and they handled them, and then they need this week off. So it's almost like they're going to have 2 weeks off.
Fish, you going with Auburn or Ole Miss this week?
I like Ole Miss this week. The road team has covered 7 straight games in this series and has won 5 of the last 7. Ole Miss 4-1 against the spread as a road dog, and Auburn 13-22 against the spread. Their last 35 as a home favorite. So I think what you said earlier is going to be the tough part. I don't think Bo Nix can look great like he did against Arkansas, and I think Auburn's defense is going to have a tough time stopping Ole Miss in that offense. I like Ole Miss's ability to score points against this Auburn team, and I think Auburn playing catch-up the entire game, that just isn't going to be good for Bo Nix. So I like Ole Miss,
Well, that makes me feel great then, because, Fish, you are, 2-8 in the SEC?
That's right.
So he's due. He's due. Turn it around.
No, because I feel bad about this because it's just going to come back to bite me because I said the other day I was goofing on. I was like, I swear to God, I've been hearing Anthony Simon's name forever. Like Anthony Simon's is gonna. This is the year. Yeah. This is the year. I'm like, I'm so sick of hearing his name. And then the dude freaking goes out and whatever he dropped against the Grizzlies, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was due.
He was due.
He was due. So was Fish.
Fish could be due. Although I'm looking your official picks, Fish, and you don't have it on there. You do.
I just threw it out there.
Okay. All right.
Well, hey, let's go down the road from Oxford to Starkville and talk about Mississippi State because they play Kentucky this week. They play Kentucky this week.
Get some skull.
Mike Leach is 18-8 at Mississippi State. If forever we heard him get named when teams were talking when he was Texas Tech and then Washington State. We always heard like, oh, this is the next big guy. He's got to come to the SEC. This offense is revolutionary. It's going to change. Now everyone kind of runs the same offense or some
from him. They all got from him. Yeah,
everyone stole it from him
because he was doing it at Kentucky.
Right, but now it's pretty common. Everybody does it.
The air raid
and the scheme doesn't really set you apart from everybody else anymore. So the talent difference matters all of a sudden. What do we make of Mike Leach at Mississippi State at this point? Has it been successful? I
think it's about probably what we expected. If you go and look at his track record of the places he's been, like it's taken him like at Texas Tech. Dude, go look at the coaches at Texas Tech and look at their record since Mike Leach left. Texas Tech's been horrible since he's been gone. And then even at Washington State, it took him like 5 years to get it going at Washington State. Now, that's a tough job, too.
Yeah.
And that's a Pac-12 job, but that's a tough Pac-12 job. And Mississippi State's a tough SEC job. He will win there. I think the big surprising thing has been the defense under him has been pretty good.
Yeah.
The defense has been good. Which this is a sneaky, interesting game. Mississippi State, Kentucky.
I wanted to ask Fish some of the trends on this because I mean it's only a 1.5 point line for Kentucky, who we're sitting here arguing if they're one of the top 3 teams in the SEC, and they're going on the road against a team that really hasn't done anything to differentiate themselves. What do the numbers show on this matchup, Fish?
Well, it's interesting on both sides, actually. Kentucky 6-0 against the spread this season. I mean, they've covered every game.
Yeah.
The last 6 meetings, the home team between Kentucky and Mississippi State, the home team has won and covered the last 6. So that would bode well for Mississippi State. The last 4 meetings overall have gone under, and the last 6 played in Starkville between these two teams also have gone under. And State just 2-7 against spread their last 9 games at home. So
Wow.
the trends are all over the place, pretty much consistent with under the 47.
Yeah.
But, the home team has dominated, but Kentucky's dominating this season. So that could go either way. This was another line that kind of surprised me when I saw that Kentucky only being a 1-point favorite. I would imagine the public is all over Kentucky being just a 1-point favorite, which lead me to believe that Mississippi State's probably the play this week. As far as Mike Leach is concerned, I think Mississippi State fans got completely spoiled with Dan Mullen. And if that's your expectation is to be number 1 in the country every couple of years, you're sorely mistaken. I think Mike Leach, take away Dan Mullen's tenure at Mississippi State, and Mike Leach would be one of the great coaches Mississippi State's had.
But the problem is that you can't take away he's following the guy who got him into number 1. So I don't know. I like you, Rob. I think it's really interesting. It feels weird to take the under on a Mike Leach game, but I see the way the numbers are pointed. We have some sound here from Mike Leach after last week's game, where inexplicably he was asked about his favorite Halloween candies.
I mean, I completely hate candy corn. When I was a kid, gummy bears. Let's see, gummy bears for sure. The other thing I like is when they used to have the sprees in a box. Outstanding. You have to go to the dollar store to find it, but I do. They have those Nerds clusters, which is new.
With the gummy.
Yeah, which is good. The Nerds clusters is good. And then if you go chocolate, probably Almond Joy.
He had me on all of these until he got to the chocolate part.
What's wrong with Almond Joy?
Coconut's disgusting.
No.
Almond Joys are great.
No, when you get coconut and chocolate, no, man, those little coconut shavings, gross.
I kind of go mounds over Almond Joy.
Stuck between your teeth. No, if you're going to do, there are. I could literally name you probably 10 candy bars better than Almond Joy.
Let's go.
The regular Hershey bar.
1.
Snickers.
2.
Whatchamacallit.
3.
Nestle Crunch.
4.
Butterfinger.
5.
Crackles.
6.
Yeah.
Crackles.
I went. Yeah.
Crackles with a K.
I went with Crackles.
That's 6.
100 grand.
7.
All right, hang on. I got to think of more
Snickers?
candy bars. I already said Snickers.
Whatchamacallit?
I said whatchamacallit.
Good bar.
Mr. Good Bar is a great one.
Mr. Good Bar is a bad candy bar.
Mr.
It's just
Good Bar
peanuts
better
and
than
chocolate.
Freaking Almond Joy.
So good.
Baby Ruth. Oh, I love Baby Ruth. Love Baby Ruth.
I don't like Baby Ruth.
Yeah, Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth.
Milky Way. That's
Milky
11.
Way. Anything with nougat is disqualified in
Three
my list.
Musketeers. That's 12.
Again, out.
Nougat.
Nothing with nougat. Nougat's overrated. We don't need nougat on this list.
Coconut over here. Kit Kat.
Fish. I mean, we should ask Mr. Snack himself. Fish.
Fish only eats pretzels. Fish.
I think
what are the best
the
chocolate
Almond Joy
covered
is
pretzels?
vastly underrated.
I agree.
I think you're overrated.
If I'm going chocolate, I'm going Whoppers. It's not a candy bar.
Whopper.
The malted milk balls.
Yeah. Oh, Milk Duds.
That's not a candy bar.
It's still chocolate candy.
So is Whoppers.
Well, so if we're going to say chocolate,
I'm just saying, if I'm going chocolate, I'm going that route. I'd go Milk Duds over a candy
the
bar.
only thing with the Milk Dud is you got to watch out because those things will seriously
Yeah, they'll tear your teeth
will
apart.
Break your
They're
teeth.
the worst.
Yeah, they will. They're good, but they will break your teeth. What about Junior Mints? Those
Junior
kind of
Mints are
chocolate
awesome.
Candy? Junior Mints are great.
And they stop infections. If you watch Seinfeld.
That's right. The Junior Mint.
The Junior Mint.
Junior Mint.
When I was in high school, we did a fundraiser thing and we sold the Snickers, and it was 4 little ones in a box, and it was $1. And the school screwed up, and instead of ordering 100, they ordered 1,000 or something. And so for the whole year, by the end of the year, they were just giving them away. No, and I cannot eat Snickers now. I ate so many Snickers about junior year of my high school life. I can't eat them anymore. They're great. I think Snickers might be the best all around.
Snickers. If you
get peanuts, caramel, chocolate, salty, sweet, all that.
You're never going to be disappointed at a Snickers bar. You never.
They're
will
very
be
satisfying.
Yeah, they are. They do great with the hungry.
They're like the
wide
University
weight.
of Georgia football team of candy bars.
No, because you're
always satisfied.
Snickers don't lose.
Who's Georgia then? Is Alabama a Snickers?
Alabama Snickers.
Ohio State. What's Ohio State?
M&M's.
M&M's are. How do we not name M&M's?
Because there's better than M&M's. Like the peanut M&M's are better than the regular M&M's.
Peanut butter M&M's.
Peanut butter M&M's are the best.
But I'm saying, I just don't think you can go wrong with it. It's all in the M&M family. I don't think you can go wrong with anything in that M&M family.
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's is great.
Reese's Pieces and the peanut butter cups are, to me, I mean, that's sort of the standard.
Yeah.
Peanut butter cups might be the best.
Yeah, right?
The Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
I know.
I will tell you, the Reese's ice cream bars. Oh, I had one at Gary Parrish's house. Oh, they just another level. God, they're so good.
By the way, we're talking about Halloween candy. You know whose birthday is on Halloween? Nick Saban's 70 years old.
70?
70 years old on Sunday.
Yeah. No. He is 70. I knew.
And he mentioned the other day that he might put another 10 years in.
Is Nick Saban? What Halloween candy do you think Nick Saban leaves for
apples
for the kids? Apples.
A bowl of apples.
Hey, I'd rather have apples than raisins. These people that leave raisins, man, there is nothing worse. There is nothing worse than
You might as well just put out a bowl of X-Lax.
Yeah, right.
Why would you put out a food that helps you poop better?
I mean, like, what kid?
Prunes. Who wants prunes?
Yeah.
What kid? What? Like, you're a freaking 8-9-year-old kid. Like, who wants raisins? Unless you're giving Raisinets. Raisinets, another chocolate candy. Oh, I love Raisinets. But regular raisins with the old creepy lady with the creepy lady on it. I don't know. That lady looks like she probably is an axe murderer.
She looks like a serial killer.
Yeah, she really does. She really does.
It's a dude or two tied up in her basement. Absolutely.
No, they're 100%, 100%. And she still wears the old clothes like that. Probably hasn't bathed. She's been on an episode of Law and Order. There's no doubt. But
that's who eats raisins?
No, that's the lady that's on the box. The lady that's on the box.
But I'm saying she probably eats raisins. That's who eats raisins.
Yeah, that's the lady who leaves you raisins. And also, don't be the person who leaves the box out, that leaves the bowl out and says, please take just one. Nobody's taking one. It's one kid who comes up there and takes all of it.
Actually, I saw a video the other day. It might have been on AFV. And they, now with the Nest and the Ring cameras, people put the thing out there and say, please just take one, and then they video kids just taking 20.
Oh, yeah. I did that.
Yeah. Oh, I did too.
I would do that.
100%.
There was one lady one year in a friend's neighborhood who left out a bowl of quarters for every kid to take quarters. I was like, I got up there, my buddy got up there, we we just split it up and took all of it.
Did it say, please take one?
Yes!
Who's taking one quarter?
One kid is taking one quarter. It's me and my buddy. There was probably $15 in there. Yeah. And we just split all of it, took all of it and left.
I don't blame you.
Yeah,
Well, look, we're talking about trick-or-treating in Memphis. And Memphis this week had a bye week after last week. They lost to UCF 24-7. They're now 4-4 overall.
Yeah, that kid can't throw the ball.
Let's listen to Ryan Silverfield because he says that Memphis needs to be better.
The things we say we want to do as a program, we weren't able to do. Continue to turn the ball over, which has been our Achilles heel this season, or our losses. We didn't have many explosive plays as an offense. Defensively, obviously, that first drive, and then not be able to really stop the run until later in the game. The defense did some good things, but not good enough. And like I mentioned earlier, that special teams blunder wasn't good enough. So, we're not where we need to be in order to find ways to win games. And that's the frustrating part. And like I said, it starts with me. So I got to go back and figure out during these next few weeks what we need to do differently in order to get the thing. The guys believe there's no quitting them.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty simple. Let's not spend a ton of time on Memphis. But if the Parrish kid has to play quarterback the rest of the way, Memphis is probably not going to win another game. If Hennigan can play, they'll have a chance to win some games.
Should we be worried about Memphis football? Is this year is this a step back from what they've accomplished the last 3-4 years?
I mean,
it felt like they were building towards something.
Yeah, I want to see the Grant kid play. Grant Gunnell. That's the quarterback from Arizona. Who was hurt, and he was brought in to be the starter, and he will have his starting job next season if he stays here. So, I want to see him play before I can believe that maybe it's on the downside.
Do you think it's all on the quarterback?
I mean, when you're at this level.
When you score 7 points, I mean.
A quarterback, if
Quarterback
you watch that UCF game, dude, they ran 7 plays the whole game. That dude could not.
Yeah.
They couldn't convert a third down unless he ran for it. I think that was it. He could not throw the ball.
Auburn.
Memphis,
go ahead.
Memphis has yet to cover a road game under Ryan Silverfield. How about that for a nugget?
Well, last year they didn't cover any games.
No, it certainly felt that way.
Except
but now,
UCF.
I mean, overall, I believe it's like 0-9 now in road games under Ryan Silverfield against the spread.
Man,
well, he's due. He's due, right?
Yeah, today's the Dew Theory show. Yes.
There we go. There's the name. The Dew Theory. D-U-E, right? Isn't that how you spell it?
D-E-W.
That's Mountain
I was just
Dew,
trying to trick you.
and that's dew on the grass.
I thought I could get you that.
Grass. No. I'm actually spell it either way. Whatever you play football on grass, you can spell it D-E-W if you want.
Hey, there's one more SEC game we haven't talked about. Maybe we should. Missouri's -16 against Vanderbilt this week.
Yeah. Who you want in this one? Mizzou 2-10 against the spread as a favorite, and they are a 16-point favorite against Vanderbilt. 2-10 as a favorite. They're 1-9 against the spread their last 10 on the road, but Vanderbilt's 0-6 against the spread at home. So something's got to give here. I would say this: 4 of the last 6 meetings have been decided by single digits. So I don't know. Vanderbilt's terrible, but Mizzou's not that much better. Well, Mizzou, they got to be better than Vanderbilt. 16 points, though. I don't know. That's a lot of points for Missouri.
They should be.
They're not very good.
No, they should be 16 points better. I thought Drinkwitz was onto something last year in Missouri, and it's just kind of gone the other way.
They've had a tough schedule.
They had a quarterback.
And their schedule gets harder, too. I was looking. They still play a bunch of good teams at the stretch here. So
yeah,
I can give this matchup a single digit. Hey, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back for one more segment, talk about some NFL, and do our picks. We'll be right back here on The Odds Couple, presented by WinBet.
What are your favorite kind of basketball speeches that just like are stuck in your mind? It doesn't have to be Hall of Fame. It can be like any type of speech from a basketball player.
I mean, Hall of Fame, for me, Michael Jordan's the end-all, be-all, because not only was it a great speech, and he was like pretty petty and mean, and it was memorable, but he cried, and we got the crying Jordan meme.
Join Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Ray Johnson, every Thursday as we debate the hottest topics in the NBA. IMHO on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and our social channels.
Jaron Jackson Jr.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Come on, Vern.
Look,
we on the Vern show.
Yeah, you have
Vern, why your fit look like you're supposed to be in a garage right now fixing up some tools or something?
Look at this. That's a Deion Sanders throwback.
Man,
how dare you?
You look like you put that on to eat. My goodness.
How dare you?
The Chris Vernon Show, live daily on grindcitymedia.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You could be mad at me like, oh, no, you ain't tried my biscuit. I don't care about your biscuit because these flaky biscuits, next level.
My Nana's biscuits were the flakiest, most perfect biscuits, and I have the recipe, and I have yet to be able to recreate those biscuits. And every time I try, I fail, and it makes me so sad because will I ever have a biscuit that tastes as good as the biscuits I grew up on? Probably not.
Rise and Grind with Jessica and Megan. Live daily at 8 a.m. on grindcitymedia.com.
The Odds Couple is brought to you by WinBet, the official sportsbook partner of the Memphis Grizzlies. WinBet is bringing the excitement of Win Las Vegas to online sports betting. From boosted parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, they have what you need to win. You can place bets on games on any major sport, including on NBA teams like your Memphis Grizzlies. Sign up today and use promo code BET1WIN100, and after placing your first $1 wager, you'll receive $100 to bet with. There's no better way to enjoy basketball than with some extra winnings in your pocket to use for all your favorite bets. Betting is a team sport. Join the WinBet team and bet with the best. Must be physically located in Tennessee and 21 years of age or older to participate. If you win or someone you know needs assistance with a gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
Welcome back to grindcitymedia.com. Live from FedEx Forum. Now, here's more of The Odds Couple, Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker, presented by WinBet.
Grizz Nation, proof of a negative COVID test or vaccination will be needed to attend Grizzlies and Tigers games at FedEx Forum. The Grizzlies and FedEx Forum have partnered with Clear Health Pass to provide easy proof of COVID-related health insights for faster entry and to create a safer experience for all to enjoy the game. Download the Clear app and sign up today. For more information on all health and safety protocols, visit FedExForum.com. Welcome back to the Odds Couple presented by WinBet.
WinBet!
I'm Lang, that's Roser, that's CJ, and Fish is out in the Bay Area.
He's in the Bay. Hey, Fish, you get me some 49ers gear.
I was going to say, it's your team, right?
It is Niners gear out. It is Niners time out there.
Yeah, I'll look for some Niners gear.
Go to Candlestick.
Well, when I have nothing to do out here. Sure.
Oh, yeah, y'all aren't allowed to do anything. It's California, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much got tested today. Everything's boarded up. I mean, it's crazy. This trip has been weird.
Late last night and you leave tonight, right?
You really can't do anything in California still, can you?
No, it rained in Los Angeles. Portland is all boarded up and closed down, and everything closes like around 8 o'clock. And now San Francisco's the same sort of deal. Everything.
Why? Why is Portland? Is it because they're still trying to tear the city apart in Portland?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That is still going on?
They're mad about the Blazers bench.
Man.
Yes.
So wait. So what do they do with Blazers games? Like, fans are allowed to go to those games. Is it just like you have to go home immediately after the game?
I guess. I don't know. I mean,
Rob doesn't live in Portland.
I don't think there's a curfew or anything. It's just everything closes.
No, they
like
just
downtown
and they just board them up.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to go watch the World Series, and the game starts at 5 o'clock, and Buffalo Wild Wings is right down the street, and they closed at 7 o'clock.
I like that you opted for some good local food, though.
Yeah. Well, all the local food places are all closed down.
Yeah.
I mean, it was weird. It was weird being in Portland. I mean, nothing was open, and trying to get food like at 8 o'clock on the night that we got there was very difficult. We ended up eating at Punch Bowl Social because it was the only place that was open.
So what's the deal with San Francisco? What is it? Is it the same there? Are they still tearing up the city there, or what is it?
I don't know what it is.
Or are is it COVID that they're
pissed about the
they're still scared of
Garoppolo, Trey
everything?
Lance. They don't know who should
I think
start.
more COVID and Garoppolo.
Man,
probably.
California.
Jimmy G. Hey, the best NFL game of the week is actually going to happen before people watch this program.
Yeah.
When the Pack and the Cards play on Thursday Night Football. But there are some good games on Sunday also, including the Pittsburgh-Cleveland game, two teams on win streaks. The Steelers are kind of staying alive, too. Mike Tomlin got asked this week if there's a chance he would leave to go to USC.
For that speculation. I mean, that's a joke to me. I got one of the best jobs in all of professional sport. Why would I have any interest in coaching college football? That'll be the last time that I address it. And not only today, but moving forward. Never say never, but never. Okay? Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check. Anyone else? All right. Thank you. Anybody asking Sean Payton about that? Anybody asking Andy Reid about stuff like that?
No, all right. On a serious note, I love Mike Tomlin. Everybody knows how much I love Mike Tomlin. And I saw what Stephen A. Smith said about this. And Stephen, I know what Mike Tomlin is saying by saying this, and he's absolutely right. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season as head coach in the NFL. Sean Payton's had 4 losing seasons. Andy Reid's had losing seasons. And nobody asked them, is their job security in question? Is their job could their job be in question? Would they want to make the jump to college? But they ask it about Mike Tomlin. When Mike Tomlin has it is not one of the best. He has the best job in all of sports. They do not fire their coaches. They have had 3 coaches since the 70s. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and him. And they ask if he would leave. You can't tell me there is not racial stuff behind that where his name gets mentioned. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous that he gets asked that question. It's dumb. Like, he's got the best job. Why does he get asked that?
I think
that's what he's inferring when he's like, well, Sean Payton doesn't get asked this.
Yeah.
Andy Reid doesn't get asked this. These are other coaches who have been established. Why do I get asked this?
I think partly he gets asked that just because there's this void of information and television, and we have to have stuff to talk about all the time. And maybe it was his day up to get asked that question, and other coaches are going to get asked dumb stuff too. But the bigger picture, I agreed. What? It reminded me of this summer when there was rumors about Brad Stevens going to college to coach, and Woj was like, why would anybody take this job if you're a pro coach? Like, going to college is such a step backward for anybody.
Yes.
It's like no pro coach wants to deal with all the crap that comes with being a college coach again. There's a reason all those college coaches are trying to get to the pro level. Like, they don't want to do that unless they have to. I don't know.
I saw that, what was it, because LSU fans have been wanting Joe Brady. They've been mentioning Joe Brady. And, I heard Mark Schlabach say, they're not getting Joe Brady. Joe Brady likes the NFL. From what I've heard, Joe Brady did not enjoy the recruiting aspect that one season that he was at LSU. He wants to game plan and wants to call plays in the game. He does not want to sit there and have to kiss up to 16 and 17-year-old kids on the recruiting trail. Thoughts, CJ?
I mean, Pittsburgh fans and fans in general are nuts. And they aren't satisfied with Mike Tomlin not having a losing record because they look up and is, hey, with all this talent that we've had, why haven't we done more than just get one Super Bowl, right? With the Killer Bees there, all in their primes, what happened? What happened to you is the Patriots came through. It is unfortunate, Rob, you bring it up from time to time, right? Sometimes the second best team in a generation is second best because the best team of a generation is in that same generation. You're competing with them. So Mike Tomlin and the Steelers have had a phenomenal run. And if you're just measuring it by Super Bowl wins, well then, you can say something about that. But he's still got two, right? I know he's got
at least
one.
Yeah.
He's got one.
I thought Ben won with Bill Cowher, though.
Yeah.
So he's got
Bill
Tomlin's
Cowher
got one and got numerous trips to the playoffs.
It was a great Super Bowl, the one against Arizona that he won that Tomlin got. It was an amazing Super Bowl.
Come on, man. Pittsburgh fans be better than that in media. You don't have to ask this guy a question just because Carson bleeping Palmer says something about there may be hypothetically a chance that hypothetical phone calls are taking place between USC and Mike Tomlin.
No, it is absolutely ridiculous.
Fish, your thoughts?
I love Mike Tomlin, and I loved how he pretty much just nipped that in the bud right off the bat. And
awesome.
Said this is the last we're going to talk about it. He doesn't. Mike Tomlin doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve those questions, but he does deserve the benefit of the doubt when he says this is the last we're going to speak of it. So I imagine that'll be the last they speak of it. But why would Mike Tomlin leave the Pittsburgh Steelers? And Roser's right. What is the greatest coaching job in all of sports? Why would you leave that for a college job? That's a mess. And then why would he be asked about it? So I think it's kind of a joke. And I love Mike Tomlin in the NFL, and Mike Tomlin's going to be just fine with the Pittsburgh Steelers, whether it's and he might have a season where he goes under 500. That might even be this year. But what he's done has been remarkable, and they'll bounce back.
They have shown they build their culture there is
fun.
Yes.
And it's not like he's close to 8-8 seasons. He's got 2 8-8 seasons in 15 years, 9 10+ seasons in 10 win-plus seasons in 15 years with the Steelers.
He got an 8-8 season with Mason Rudolph as his quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's
They
what you
should
want.
build him a statue for that, man.
But that's how you want your coach to answer those questions, unlike James Franklin, who is focused on
Wishy-washy.
Illinois.
Yeah, I love how Tomlin does. I have a good friend of mine who is a massive Steelers fan, and he's like, one, Mike Tomlin's not leaving. He goes, two, I never want him to leave. He's like, I absolutely love the guy, and why I love the guy is exactly answers like that. And that is how he approaches his team. There is no nonsense. We do not make excuses. I remember last year they had a run where they played 4 games in it was 20 days or something.
Right.
And he never made excuses. He's like, that's how the schedule goes. We're grown men. We're professionals. We show up. We play.
I learned a few things about Mike Tomlin while we were talking here. Number one, he won 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
2 AFC championships. Youngest head coach to win a Super Bowl, Mike Tomlin. He's still only 49 years old. He was a graduate assistant at Memphis.
Yeah.
In the 1996.
Yeah.
And I also just learned he has a couple of kids, but one of his daughters is named Harlan Quinn. Harlan Quinn. Almost Harley Quinn.
It's Harlan Quinn. He got it from Harley.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Randy Fichtner was his offensive coordinator for so many years at the Steelers. They coached together at Memphis, and that's how they became good friends.
Rob, you got any other NFL notes, news, tips,
I do.
trends? What you got?
I do. Pittsburgh is a 3.5-point favorite at the Browns. Total is 42 in that one. Pittsburgh 1-5 against the spread. Their last 6 on grass. And the home team in this matchup has covered 5 of the last 7 meetings. A couple of other matchups in the NFL. Titans 1.5-point dog at the Colts. Why are the Titans a 1.5-point dog at the Colts?
I have no idea.
I mean, I think the Colts might be rounding into form. They had a brutal start to the schedule. And
haven't the Titans rounded into form?
Who?
I don't
Titans?
know. I guess so. I don't know why we don't believe in the Titans, man. I think that Jets loss still lingers like a bad fart. Like you're just walking around and we still smell it on you.
The favorite between the Titans and the Colts, which would be the Colts, has covered 8 of the last 10 meetings. The Colts also are 7-3 against the spread against the Titans playing at home. Bucks, meanwhile, are a 6-point favorite at New Orleans. The Saints 5-1 against the spread, the last 6 against Tampa. Tampa's not covered their last 4 as a road favorite. And the Cowboys 1.5-point favorite in Minnesota against the Vikings. The dog has covered the last 4 meetings. And Minnesota 5-1 against the spread, their last 6 against the Cowboys. That's another odd number with the Cowboys only being at a 1.5 favorite, but the trends looking at Minnesota. Couple of before we get our picks, couple of nuggets of the week. How about this? Nuggets of the week.
No Denver.
Missouri 16-point favorite at Vanderbilt. Mizzou has failed to cover their last 10 games. 0-10. Against the spread in their last 10 games. Vanderbilt, meanwhile, 0-6 against the spread at home. Something's got to give. It's the something's got to give game. Auburn, 2.5-point favorite at Ole Miss. Auburn has lost 8 of their last 10 games when they are ranked, taking on another ranked opponent. So when Auburn's ranked, taking on a ranked opponent,
they're terrible.
They've lost 8 of their last 10. And the road team has covered 7 straight in that series. And then Kentucky, a 1-point favorite at Mississippi State. The home team has won and covered 6 straight games. Weird line, but the trends say Mississippi State. Home team winning and covering 6 straight in that matchup.
That something's got to give game, Robbie talked about, the Missouri-Vanderbilt game. And I can tell you what's going to give. Vanderbilt's going to get crushed.
Oh!
Hey, guess what time it is? Picks! Let's do picks! Picks!
All right, I've got numbers.
Wait. I'm going to go first. I get to go first.
No, the syndicate.
Oh, the syndicate. Give us the syndicate.
The syndicate. The syndicate on the season so far is 102-78.
Woo!
That is a 56.6% winning percentage. In the SEC, if you take out Rob's horrible 2-8 record between Lang, myself, and CJ, 28-17, 62.2% of the time in the SEC. If you take out Fish's record overall, 81-54, the syndicate, 60% between Lang, CJ, and myself. I'm sorry, Rob, but you're the only one under 500, so I had to do that.
That's just brutal.
And
the good news is I have 2 SEC games this week in my 5 picks.
Awesome. Well,
you might be due.
I got a couple of SEC games in my 5 picks, too, and we're going to start with my 5 picks. I'm taking Georgia to blow out Florida. It's payback time. This one matters a lot to Georgia. They're going to win by more than 14. I'm taking Florida State plus 10 over Clemson. Clemson is a hot mess right now. DJ Uiagalelei got benched last week. They look bad. And I know Florida State's been a mess all year, but this is, I think, a game that could mean a lot to Mike Norvell and the Seminoles. I think they're going to at least keep it close enough to 10 points. I think Kentucky's a lot better than Mississippi State, and they're going to win that game. I don't know why it's such a close line, but I think Kentucky wins that one. We haven't even mentioned Michigan State, Michigan. That's probably the best college football game this weekend. I'm rolling with Michigan State. And then finally, it's real quiet. The Falcons have won 2 in a row on the road. 2 in a row on the road. Matt Ryan seems to be figuring out some Arthur Smith offense. You give me 2.5 against the Panthers, we're going to cover that. So I'm going the Dirty Birds this week.
Dirty Bird.
Who's next? Fish, give us your picks.
I'm gonna ride with CJ taking anybody against Oklahoma at this
Okay.
point. I just don't. It's amazing watching Oklahoma and how each week it seems like they should lose and they don't. So I'll take the 20 points with Texas Tech in Norman against the Sooners. I like Georgia minus the 14th. I think Georgia crushes Florida. The favorite 5-1 against the spread the last 6 meetings between these two teams. Missouri, Vanderbilt, yeah, 2 bad teams. That's kind of a weakness of mine, betting on games with bad teams. Under 63, however, last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Both teams are under machines. I'll take the under 63 for Mizzou and Vanderbilt. I like the Bills, big number. This is the second week in a row I'm going with 2 double-digit NFL favorites. Bills minus 13.5 against the Dolphins. They're 7-2 against the spread at home against Miami. And then the Bengals minus the 10 at the Jets. Jets, how about this? The last 17 week 8s, the Jets are 3-14 against the spread. What? Yeah, terrible week 8 team. Terrible week 8 team. Continues this week. Go Bengals minus the 10.
You got to look at those. You got to analyze those week 8 trends. When you can.
That's right. That's
they're it's more like a week WEAK week 8 for the.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Fish.
What a
CJ.
nugget. Good
CJ.
Lord.
CJ.
Remember everybody workplace
We want some picks. Slay these
Missouri.
picks.
Give me Missouri because they're playing Vanderbilt. Anybody not favored by 33, 34 points against Vanderbilt, I'm going to take that team. Georgia,
Let's
as I open
go.
up the notebook. Here it is. Only 2 teams have topped 250 yards total offense against Georgia so far this season. That defense is legit. Last I checked, they were number 1 in scoring defense, number 1 total defense, number 2 rushing defense, number 2 passing defense. Florida's got questions at quarterback. Florida's got a season that is spiraling out of control. I think Georgia comes out there and pits Florida out of their misery.
I believe Georgia's
this
left
season.
3 touchdowns all season. All season.
All season.
Yeah.
Like that defense is just too much. Give me Georgia in that one. Like you said, Rob, Oklahoma, how they keep winning games, how they've avoided losing games is beyond my comprehension.
They barely beat Kansas last
Barely
week.
beat Kansas. As I look back in the notebook, I need a monocle or something. OU allowed the 109th ranked offense to go for 430 yards. They allowed the 93rd ranked offense in the nation to go for 420 yards. That's Kansas State and Kansas, respectfully. Not really respecting them, though. Texas Tech averages 440 yards a game. Yeah. Oklahoma can't tackle in space. All you have to do is get your receiver, those little bubble screens, get your receiver a bubble screen. They'll run for days against Oklahoma. I don't think the Sooners y'all smell that? Because I smell an upset. Straight up. Texas Tech. This is where that luck runs out for Oklahoma. Texas Tech wins straight up. But I'll take the points, though. Ole Miss, Auburn. That Ole Miss plus the wrong team I think is favored here. It makes me nervous making this pick, but I really like what Lane Kiffin has going on. It's tough historically for Ole Miss to win there. We talked about it some earlier in the show. 3 wins on the Plains. The last one was 2015. Got to go way back to 2003 for the next win on the Plains. Give me Ole Miss in this one. They exercise some demons and cement themselves as the legit number 3 team in the SEC.
I'm with you.
And in the NFL, I will go with the Seahawks minus the 3.5. They got Jacksonville. It's Jacksonville, dog.
Betting on Geno.
You're betting on Geno Smith to win a game by 1 on a field goal.
They can do that. They can get them by 4 or 5. I think they got it.
Okay. Staying away from Michigan State, Michigan, huh?
I try not to pick Michigan games. I will say this. I think this feels different. I think, not just a fan in me, but Michigan goes out there and obliterates Michigan State. Last year, the loss to Michigan State, all Michigan State was doing was throwing the ball deep and praying for pass interferences. And in Don Brown's defense, that's all they were doing was holding receivers, trying not to get beat deep because they didn't have help. Well, now with a new defensive coordinator, a new defensive scheme, they're not doing that one-on-one macho stuff, right? They're not blitzing 7 and leaving 4 dudes out there on islands by themselves. There is help deep. I don't think Michigan State will get big plays. I don't think they're going to get the penalties that they got the last time. And I think Michigan can run the football. They're going to pound Michigan State.
I don't know. I feel like this is a different Michigan State team, too, though. Tucker's got them playing well. And I don't know.
That's your coach, LSU, USC. If you're looking for somebody, go get that.
Clear.
He's a good one.
Hey, John Roser, what you got for us this week?
All right. right. We're going to roll with this. We got the Clemson helmet right here. Get out of here. You're losing to Florida State this weekend. We're rolling with the Noles. Come on, Mike Norvell.
Let's do it. Go Braves. Oh.
Come on, Mike Norvell. We're taking Florida State plus the 10 because I don't think Clemson can beat anybody by 10 right now. We're rolling with the Auburn Tigers minus the 2 over the Ole Miss Rebels. We're going to roll with Mississippi State, the dog, plus the 1.5 against Kentucky, or plus 2. We'll take plus 2 against Kentucky. We're going to take Michigan State. Come on, Sparty. Let's go party. Plus the 4.5 against Michigan.
Yeah.
That's only because I have a feeling I'm just like you, CJ. I do worry that Michigan could blow them out. But Michigan State's just a tough team. They're a tough team. They're going to be ready. They're going to be ready to go. And here you go. These are numbers for you. 45, 28, but 600 yards of offense. 41, 59, 52, 66, 54.
Omaha.
Those are Ohio State's point totals this year. We're going to go over 39 for Ohio State's team total against
a terrible Penn State.
Against the Penn State
bad
Nittany Lions.
They're bad. Penn State's bad.
And for your roll with Roser,
Let's roll
teaser. This pays out plus 300. We're going to take the Bengals. It's a 7-point teaser, 5-team 7-point teaser. Pays out plus 300. You can get it on WinBet. It goes the Bengals. They're going to go to minus 3. The Bears, we'll take them plus 10.5. The 49ers aren't beating anybody by more than 10. We suck. The Cowboys plus 4.5 against the Vikings. The Colts plus 8 against the Titans. That's going to be a field goal game like it always is. And the Lions plus 10. Jalen Hurts sucks. He's not beating anybody by double digits either.
Oh, hold on a
Lions
second.
plus 10 against the Eagles.
There was like a month ago, and I was like, y'all are really going to bet on Jalen Hurts? You'd like Jalen Hurts? I was like, you got benched at Alabama. Oh, no, he's great. He's going to be a great.
I never said Jalen Hurts was great.
I don't think Jalen Hurts
Come
sucks.
on.
Jalen Hurts sucks.
I think that
He's not
offensive
good.
scheme
he's not good. He's a backup quarterback. That's what he is. He's a backup quarterback. That guy puts up his numbers in garbage time. He does. He's a garbage time quarterback. He's like Blake Bortles. He's Blake Bortles. He's Blake Bortles.
Fish, we're going to let you go get ready for this game tonight. You doing all right? You're ready
I'm
to go?
doing well. I'm looking
All right.
forward to getting back home so I can bet on some football games.
Well, there's a lot to bet on.
And
this
you mean
weekend.
just like do stuff because you can't do anything in Cal? They don't allow you to go anywhere in California right now?
That's
You need
right.
some
I miss
candy.
my garage. I miss working in my garage.
Like you can actually go places
You
in
miss
the South.
you miss
still.
tinkering in
That's
the
right.
garage.
Well,
Garage is where we
or
all do a
sitting
lot
in
of
a chair
tinkering.
watching games.
Me too. I miss sitting outside watching games. CJ, Roser, anything else before we get out of here?
No.
No.
Love and peace.
We've done it all.
Enjoy the games, dog.
Peace
Enjoy
and
the
love.
games.
Peace and love.
Hey, that's another episode of The Odds Couple presented by WinBet. For more from us, you can go to grindcitymedia.com. Follow us on all the social channels. That's Rob Fisher out in the Bay Area. That's CJ Hurd behind the glass. That's John Roser to my left. I'm Lang Whitaker. You're watching The Odds Couple presented by WinBet. We'll be back next week on Grind City Media.
You've been listening to The Odds Couple, presented by WinBet on grindcitymedia.com. Tune in next week with Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.